Forgotten. Legacy. The peaceful coexistence of Spaniards and Native Americans. And the Anglo-Saxon extermination. Among the history of Spain that is not taught is the southern third of the United States. The United States, which was almost always in peaceful coexistence with the Indians, contrary to the violent later Anglo-Saxon conquest. Geronimo spoke Spanish, and he knew at least roughly the true story of this Apache and the Bendoques, his tribe, of Cochise and the Chiricahuas, of Mangas Coladas, Victorio, Pseudomorigas, Irigoyen Ponce. All of them were Indian chiefs in the Apache Wars against America, one of the bloodiest conflicts in the history of this country in its conquest of the West. Although, in reality, the Apache uprising had begun before. After Mexico's independence. It seems that, in the virreinal era, there are no notable conflicts, and that the Apaches lived reasonably integrated within the empire. The United States was, at some point in its history, part of the Spanish Empire. In 1848, the United States occupied 52% of Mexican territory. We are talking about more than 2 million square kilometers. That is, the surface of Spain multiplied by 4. Approximately in that strip was the Apachery, which is how it is called, the region in which the Apaches settled when they crossed the borders of the Spanish Empire in the 18th century, seeking protection from the fierce incursions of the Comanches. It is a shame, but the indigenous paradise has never existed but in books. The first document mentioning the existence of the Apaches was written in 1702. In 1720, an Apache embassy arrives there requesting permission to settle in the territory. Permission granted by the Spanish governor. It follows a long and difficult process to accommodate the Apaches in a region where there were already other peoples who did not feel much sympathy towards them. Silence has a price. Iraq, Western Magazine, September 2018. Madley's job is devastating. The great men whose memory is revered and taught respect in schools are the real culprits. The day after California had joined the Union, Colonel John Fremont, one of the fathers of the state of California, it has streets, squares, schools, and even a city that no one will remove the name, presented before the United States Senate 10 legal bills aimed at the United States Senate being to transfer vast expanses of Indian California land to non-Indians and to the new state government. He declared there, and so recorded in the corresponding diary of sessions. Spanish law, clearly and absolute, ensured sedentary Indians property rights on the land they occupied. This is beyond what this government can allow in its relations with our domestic tribes. Their ancestors had rarely fought against the Spaniards, with whom, besides preserving their land, they obtained protection around missions and quarters from the Angles and northern tribes more warrior-like. Geronimo was a hero, heir to a Spanish colonization that filled the territory with missions and schools, brought agricultural knowledge, ranchers, including his essential horses, and lived with the natives until each and every other were crushed by the Angles and their 7th Cavalry.